Okay, good morning everyone. Today we are going to discuss about a topic in 404 Plant and Animal Biotechnology. The topic is selectable markers and the reporter gene. Okay, these are the two important topics under any cloning experiment when you are doing. You should have an idea about the reporter gene and the selectable marker gene. So in the last semester in recombinant DNA technology, we have studied about different types of selectable marker genes which are used in the selection process. Now, under this particular topic, we will be discussing about the selectable markers which are used in the plant transformation system to introduce a foreign DNA. Once after introducing the foreign DNA, how to select the recombinant plant or the transgenic plant with the help of the selectable marker. That is the topic of discussion today. Now, the selectable markers or the markers which are used in the plant selection system, they are classified into two. One is selectable marker, another one is known as the reporter gene. So, there is a difference between the selectable marker and the reporter gene. Selectable markers are the markers which are used to identify whether the foreign gene is there or not. You can just identify whether the presence of foreign gene in that particular cell by using a selectable marker gene. Whereas in the case of reporter gene, reporter, what is the meaning of the term report? Something which will report. Okay, reporter genes are the one which will give you an idea how much level of expression is there. Okay, in biochemical assay, you would have studied about two types of assays. One is known as quantitative, another one is known as qualitative. What do you mean by qualitative? You add some reagents and you can see the color change and you can confirm that okay, this particular solution has the particular biomolecule because of the color change. Similarly, selectable markers are the one by looking at the growth of the cells in a petri dish or by looking at the color change in the cell. By that aspect, we can identify whether it has taken up the foreign DNA or not. So you have studied in detail about the selectable markers in the previous semester about the bacterial selectable marker, ampicillin resistant gene, then your beta galactosidase gene. Okay, all those things we have discussed in detail. Blue and white selection, red and white selection, then antibiotic selection, all those things. So you know that selectable markers are the one which are used to identify the presence of a particular gene, okay, in the cell. You can just check whether it is there or not. Whereas reporter genes are the one which is used to identify how much level of expression is there. It is similar to that of your quantification. In biochemical analysis, how do you quantify? You add the reagent, you mix everything and then you keep it for incubation, you will get a color change and then you quantify it. How will you quantify it? Do the calorimetric assay and find out how much level, how much amount of that particular biomolecule is there. That is what you do in the biochemical assay, which is called as the quantitative. You are quantifying, you are measuring how much amount of that biomolecule is there. Similarly, in the case of a marker, a type of marker is there which is known as the reporter gene, which is also called as the scorable marker. So, scorable markers are also known as the reporter genes. Okay, reporter genes are the one which will give you an idea about the level of expression, how much the protein expression is there from that particular foreign gene that can be analyzed with the help of this particular marker, which are known as the scorable marker, which is also called as the reporter gene. Now, I think all of you are clear with the difference between selectable marker and the scorable marker or reporter gene. Under the syllabus, they have given few examples also. So, I will be dealing with all the examples which is given in the syllabus. One is selectable marker. Under that, it is antibiotic resistant gene. Under antibiotic resistant gene, we are going to discuss about three different types of antibiotic resistant gene. The first one is known as NPT. NPT stands for neomycin phosphotransferase. NPT gene codes for neomycin phosphotransferase. Second one is known as HPT, that stands for hygromycin phosphotransferase, and the third one is known as the SPT, stands for streptomycin phosphotransferase. So first we will see about the neomycin phosphotransferase. Neomycin phosphotransferase is a selectable marker gene which is used generally in the selection of transformed plant cells. Okay, so this one, neomycin phosphotransferase, if you are using as a selectable marker gene, you can select the cells, plant cells with the neomycin phosphotransferase. So you have to understand that whether it is a selectable marker or a scorable marker. you have to introduce this marker into the vector along with the foreign gene. So I will take the example of your TA plasmid binary vector. All of you know that there is a left border, right border. In between the left and right border, you need to introduce your selectable marker. So say for example, we are taking the neomycin phosphotransferase, and you are along with the foreign gene, you are introducing, along with the selectable marker, you are introducing your foreign DNA. We'll take the example of foreign DNA as some resistant gene. The gene which will confer resistance to some of the bacterial infection. Okay, so this is the foreign DNA. This is the binary vector, and you will use a disarmed vector or a helper vector which is having a virulence gene. Both this will be introduced into the Agrobacterium tumefaciens, and then transfer this Agrobacterium tumefaciens into the plant cell culture. You remember that leaf disc method. So you have a Agrobacterium tumefaciens with two plasmid. One is your helper plasmid, another one is the BIN19 that is there in Agrobacterium. Once the culture is ready, you have to introduce this Agrobacterium tumefaciens culture into the leaf disc culture. You remember what is leaf disc culture? You have to keep the leaf in the leaf punching machine, make the disc, and put it on the petri dish containing plant tissue culture media. Since it has the wounded side, the Agrobacterium will adhere to the plant cell surface, and then it will transfer the foreign DNA into the plant cell. What is that foreign DNA? Which has the neomycin phosphotransferase, another one is the foreign gene. So this will be introduced into the plant cell. Now we have to select the plant cell. You have to check whether the plant cell has taken up the foreign DNA. So in the case of Agrobacterium tumefaciens, I think all of you are clear with the Agrobacterium tumefaciens. The gene, the tDNA, which is there in between the left and the right border, only that portion will be entering into the plant cell. That tDNA has the NPT. Now we have to select the cells which has the foreign DNA. So wherever the foreign DNA, wherever the neomycin phosphotransferase is there, along with that foreign DNA will be there, because both are under the control of same promoter. So in yesterday's class we discussed about the cauliflower mosaic virus promoter and ubiquitin promoter. So these two genes will be under the control of a specific promoter, thereby both the expression will be together. So we are going to select the cells. So in the case of neomycin phosphotransferase, you can grow the plant cells. You need to, since it is a plant tissue culture media, you cannot use the nutrient agar media. You need to use MS media. What is MS media? Murashi and Skoog media. That is the most widely used plant tissue culture media, Murashi and Skoog media. Murashi and Skoog media containing kanamycin, neomycin. Okay, you can use either kanamycin or neomycin. So the speciality of this NPT or neomycin phosphotransferase gene is neomycin phosphotransferase gene will confer resistance to both kanamycin and neomycin. So you can prepare a Murashi and Skoog media with neomycin or kanamycin and culture the cells there. If the cells are growing there, you can confirm that that particular cell has the foreign DNA. Or also you can do one more thing. Once you get the plant small plantlets, okay, once you get the small plantlets, so this is the plant cell. So you are not selecting at this level, and you are culturing the leaf disc in the plant tissue culture media. From the leaf disc, the plantlets will be generated. So once you get the plantlet, transfer the plantlet into a pot containing sterile soil. So you are putting the plant here. Once after transferring the plant from the plant tissue culture media to the soil, sterile soil, you need to apply or spray the kanamycin. The amount of kanamycin or neomycin which is used is 50 to 500 mg per liter. That is the concentration. So that much amount of kanamycin or neomycin you need to prepare and apply it locally. Okay, apply it locally to the plant. If the plant is surviving, then you can confirm that this plant is having the resistance, because the plant cannot survive in the presence of neomycin or kanamycin. If they have the resistant gene, what is that resistant gene? You are introducing neomycin phosphotransferase, which will confer resistance to kanamycin or neomycin. So you can use any one of the antibiotic. Either you can select the transformed plant cells by preparing an MS media with kanamycin or neomycin, or don't select during that stage. Let the plantlet grow from the leaf disc. Once you get the plantlet, into the plantlet you need to spray kanamycin or neomycin. Either you can put it in the soil but see whether the plant is growing, or you can spray it near the stem. Okay, if it survives, that means it has the neomycin phosphotransferase. This is how you select the transformed plant cells with neomycin phosphotransferase. It is same for hygromycin and streptomycin. Hygromycin resistant gene is known as the HPT. HPT is isolated from Escherichia coli. This will interfere with the protein synthesis. Thereby, you can see hygromycin phosphotransferase resistant plant cells that can be grown, or you can check the growth of this plant by growing them in a media containing hygromycin. If it has the HPT gene, hygromycin phosphotransferase gene, they will grow in the media containing hygromycin, or you can do the same thing, apply the hygromycin locally into the media or into the, you can spray it into the plantlet. If it surveys, you can confirm that yes, it has the foreign DNA. Okay. Now the third one is known as the streptomycin phosphotransferase gene. If the plant has this streptomycin phosphotransferase gene, in that case, the plant cell, okay, if we are using streptomycin phosphotransferase as the selectable marker gene, you can select them by growing them in a media containing streptomycin, or you can apply it locally on the plant surface. Okay, now the streptomycin phosphotransferase conferring resistance to streptomycin, or another antibiotic is there which is called as this. One more antibiotic is called as spectinomycin. So SPT will give resistance to streptomycin or septinomycin. Okay. The spelling I will tell you: SPECTINOMYCIN, spectinomycin or streptomycin. Okay, these markers differ from other markers. Here you can identify the transformants by looking at the color. These markers allow the differentiation by color because the sensitive plants, the plants which have not taken this particular gene, SPT gene, they will become colorless. Sensitive plant bleach but do not die, whereas resistant cell remain green. Okay, so when you grow the cells in a media, once after, instead of NPT, I will put it as SPT. What is SPT? Streptomycin phosphotransferase, which will confer resistance to two antibiotic. One is streptomycin, another one is spectinomycin. Streptomycin, or you can use a media, MS media with spectinomycin. Right? Now, once you add the streptomycin or spectinomycin, you have to grow the cells in the plantlet in the media. Okay, because of the presence of the spectinomycin or streptomycin in the media, if the plant has not taken, if it has not taken the foreign DNA, the plant will become colorless. If it has the resistant gene, if it has the SPT resistant gene, the plant will be green in color. Okay, if it is not having the foreign DNA and the selectable marker, they become colorless. Why so? Because the streptomycin or spectinomycin, that will act on the chlorophyll protein synthesis, or chloroplast protein synthesis will be completely inhibited. Thereby chlorophyll synthesis won't happen. Thereby the plant will be looking like completely bleached. It will be white in color. Whereas the cells which has the resistant gene, streptomycin phosphotransferase, they will appear green in color. Clear? That's all about the antibiotic resistant gene. 3 antibiotic resistant genes are there. Neomycin phosphotransferase, second one is hygromycin phosphotransferase, and the third one is known as the SPT or streptomycin or spectinomycin phosphotransferase gene. So neomycin, whichever is that, you will be putting the foreign DNA and the selectable marker under the control of same promoter. You can use, if it is a dicot plant, you can use CAMV promoter. If it is a monocot plant, you can use ubiquitin promoter. And with the help of helpervirus, you will be transferring into the plant cell. You can select the plant cells by growing them in a media containing the appropriate antibiotic, neomycin, hygromycin or spectinomycin. So this one, this two, it will allow the growth, or if it has not taken up the foreign DNA and the selectable marker, it will not grow in the antibiotic containing media. Whereas streptomycin, by looking at the color of the plant, you can identify whether it has taken up the foreign DNA, because streptomycin is an antibiotic which will inhibit the protein synthesis in the chloroplast. Thereby, chlorophyll synthesis won't be happening and the plant will be looking like a completely bleached. Second one is known as the anti-metabolite markers. So we are going to see what are anti-metabolite markers. Okay, now for the anti-metabolite marker, we will be using the foreign DNA. The selectable marker which is used here is DHFR, which is mutated. So you can indicate a star there that indicates that DHFR, which is mutated, is used as the selectable marker gene. Mutated dihydrofolate reductase. That is the selectable marker which is known as an anti-metabolite marker. Now you have to understand what you mean by, or what is the role of DHFR. DHFR is a one carbon metabolism compound which will result in the, or the function of this dihydrofolate reductase enzyme is, this will help in the synthesis of nucleotide. So DHFR involved in the one carbon metabolism which ultimately results in the synthesis of nucleic acids and amino acids. Okay, now to find out whether we are using a mutated gene or mutated gene as the selectable marker gene, we, for identifying the transformed plant cells, what you have to do is, in the case of if you are using dihydrofolate reductase, so this is the vector, left border, right border, and you are using selectable marker gene. What is a selectable marker gene? DHFR star. What is DHFR star indicates? A mutated dihydrofolate reductase. And this is your foreign DNA. And you do the transformation and you have a plant cell. So this is the plant cell which has the foreign DNA. Okay. Now you have to select it. For selecting that, you need to prepare media. What is a media? Don't ever write as nutrient media, it is MS media. What is MS? Murashi and Skoog media. In the media, you need to incorporate the compound, the selection compound, which is called as the methotrexate. How will you select? Select the plant by growing in media, plant tissue culture media, with a component known as methotrexate. Usually, the methotrexate, if it is a normal DHFR gene, dihydrofolate reductase gene, okay, when you grow the cells in a media containing methotrexate, usually the methotrexate will inhibit the growth of the plant cells. Now we are not using the normal DHFR, we are using a mutated DHFR. A mutant DHFR gene having low affinity to methotrexate, it has been isolated. This gene yield resistant to methotrexate. So whichever plant cell, so in this culture technique, you will have many plant cells. Whichever plant cell has taken, so this has taken and this has not taken, whichever has taken, they will grow, the plant cells will grow in the media containing methotrexate, because DHFR, mutated DHFR, it will not have any effect on the methotrexate. If normal DHFR is there, that will not allow the cells to grow, because methotrexate will inhibit the dihydrofolate reductase. If dihydrofolate reductase is inhibited, then nucleotide synthesis will not be happening, then thereby the plant cannot survive. Clear? So we are using mutated DHFR. Normally in the plant cell it will have a normal DHFR which get inhibited by methotrexate. So whichever plant cell has taken the mutated DHFR, they will survive in the media containing methotrexate. Here we will be using a homologous recombination technique. Thereby the normal DHFR will be replaced with the mutated one. So whichever cell has taken up the mutated DHFR, they will grow in the media containing methotrexate. So that's all about the anti-metabolite marker. And the last one is known as the herbicide resistant marker. Okay. Now, first we have to understand what do you mean by herbicide. What do you mean by herbicide? So if you would have observed, you can see that in the field where the crop plants are growing, along with that small plants will be growing. Okay, those small plants are known as the weed. Okay, weed. Have you heard of the term weed? Weed are the unwanted plants which will be growing along with the crop plant. And when you are putting some fertilizer in the soil, before the crop plant can take up the fertilizer, the weed will take up and it will be growing faster. So you must have seen in the field. So always people will be plucking that unwanted plants which are there near the crop plant, because if that small unwanted plants are there, they will take up all the nutrients from the soil. They grow faster than the crop plant, which will not allow the growth of the normal the crop plant. Okay, so there is a need to remove this weed. Okay, weed species can be killed by a chemical substance which is called as the herbicide. Okay, so we have to usually in the field they will apply this herbicide. Herbicide will act on the plant. Okay, herbicide will act on the plant in a particular pathway. It will act, inhibit that particular pathway, thereby the plant growth will not be happening. Now we are using usually herbicide when you apply. I will give you example of a herbicide. One example of herbicide is glyphosate. Okay, so example of herbicide. So this is the most commonly used and efficient herbicide. Herbicide is glyphosate. So most of the farmers will be using this glyphosate. They apply it in the field so that that small plant which is growing there, it will be killed. Okay, now what happens when you apply this glyphosate is, in all the plant, whether it is a crop plant or in the weed plant, a particular pathway will be happening. That pathway is known as the shikimic acid pathway. What is that pathway? Shikimic acid pathway. What is the product of the shikimic acid pathway will happen, and finally it will synthesize the plant growth hormone auxin. Plant growth hormone auxin is needed for the growth of the plant. Okay, this pathway is mediated by, in one of the steps an enzyme is involved that is called as the EPSPS. EPSPS. What is the full form of EPSPS? Enol pyruvyl shikimic acid phosphate synthase. What is the enzyme involved in shikimic acid pathway? Enol pyruvyl shikimic acid phosphate synthase is the enzyme which is involved in the shikimic acid pathway. What is the product of the shikimic acid pathway that will help in the synthesis of plant growth hormone auxin? IAA. Have you heard of IAA? Indole acetic acid. That is the one which will help in the growth of the plant. So auxin is needed for the rooting of the plant. So it is one of the plant growth hormone. The synthesis will happen because of the shikimic acid pathway. So when you apply this glyphosate will act on the EPSPS. Okay. So when you spray it, it will act on the EPSPS, block the EPSPS. If the EPSPS is blocked, what will happen? The plant cannot synthesize auxin. If auxin is not synthesized, plant cannot survive. So that lead to the death of the plant. I think all of you are getting cleared by all of you understanding the process. We are using a herbicide resistant marker. That is, again, here I have put the star now. Here also you have to put the star. That means you are using a mutated EPSPS G. So it is a herbicide resistant marker. So what first you have to clearly understand what is herbicide. Herbicide are the chemical substance which are sprayed into the field to kill all the weed species which will be growing along with the normal crop plant or the grass, small grass, unwanted plant which is growing in the field. So that can be killed by one of the most widely used herbicide which is called as the glyphosate. Okay, glyphosate when you spray into the field, that will act on one of the pathway called as the shikimic acid pathway. Thereby, when the shikimic acid pathway is inhibited, the plant cannot survive. What exactly happens? Glyphosate when you spray, plant will absorb this glyphosate and this glyphosate will block the EPSPS. What is EPSPS? One of the enzyme which is involved in the shikimic acid pathway. Okay, so shikimic acid pathway, many steps are there. Finally, there will be formation of auxin. Okay, this pathway is mediated by the enzyme EPSPS. What is EPSPS? Enol pyruvyl shikimic acid phosphate synthase. So glyphosate will block the EPSPS, thereby indole acetic acid synthesis won't be happening, thereby plant will die. Clear? Now, to select the plant, transformed plants, we can use mutated EPSPS. So you are using a binary vector, left and right border, and you are using EPSPS star. What do you mean by EPSPS star? A mutated EPSPS, and you have the foreign DNA. And you are transforming this into the plant cell. So this is, imagine that this is the plant cell with the EPSPS, mutated EPSPS and foreign DNA. and you have one more plant cell which has not taken up this EPSPS and the foreign DNA. How will you select them? You need to prepare the media. Okay, what is the media? MS media plus what you have to add into the media? You need to add the herbicide. What is the herbicide most widely used one? Glyphosate. Okay, MS media with the glyphosate you need to prepare. Into that you need to culture the cells. If the cells are growing there, what does it indicate? That indicate that it has the mutated EPSPS. If it is a normal EPSPS, what will happen? It cannot survive because glyphosate will act on the EPSPS. So mutated one which is isolated from some of the soil bacteria. Even in the bacteria, this shikimic acid pathway will be happening. Okay, so you can isolate that mutated EPSPS from the soil bacteria. That can be used as the marker, and the selection is based on growing the cells in a media containing media is MS media with glyphosate. If the plant cells are growing, you can confirm that it has the foreign DNA and the selectable marker gene. Clear? So that's all about the selectable markers. So selectable marker, there are 3 different types are there. Antibiotic resistant gene, anti-metabolite marker and the herbicide resistant marker. Antibiotic already I told you twice, I told you. Anti-metabolite is dihydrate folate reductase, it is mutated, so you have to indicate a star. Herbicide resistant is a mutated here I have written only ESPS, it is EPSPS. What is EPSPS? Enol pyruvate shikimic acid phosphate synthase gene. That is a mutated one which is isolated from the bacteria. So that's all about the selectable markers which are used in the case of selection of transformed plant cells. Now we'll continue with the scorable markers or reporter genes which are used for selecting the transformed plant cells. Okay, kindly go through, and if any doubts are there, you can ask me.